Hey everyone, so I've had a lot of requests on how to use hot rollers to create a 1940s, 1950s style hairdo. So I thought that I would actually get around to doing the video. And as you can see, I have used hot rollers in my hair today. I didn't leave them in for as long as I usually do, so often the curls are a bit tighter. You can use a lot of different techniques to create this kind of style, but I personally prefer using hot rollers over anything else. The reasons for that is that I find that it creates a more classic look compared to using a curling iron, and also hot rollers are great for giving a lot of volume to your hair. And the reason why I think a lot of people don't bother using hot rollers is because they think that they're very time consuming, when in reality they're not, because the only thing that's time consuming with hot rollers is the amount of time you have to leave them in for. So my advice for using hot rollers is to learn how to put them in correctly and put them in before you do anything else, getting ready in the morning or getting ready for a night out. Then do all your makeup, pick out your clothes, whatever, and then just before you're out to leave, take your hot rollers out. And that way, you know, you've given your hot rollers time to set and you haven't had to worry about your hair while you're doing everything else, and it doesn't take very long at all. So I'm just going to get on with the tutorial and I'm going to show you guys how to create something like this. Hopefully yours will turn out a bit better, like mine usually does. But anyway, on with the tutorial. Okay, so to start with, I have just washed my hair. I washed it with a volumizing shampoo and conditioner by Loreal called Volume Expand, and this will just help to add a little bit more volume to my style. Then I just took a volumizing mousse. This is just by Toni N Guy Boosted Mousse, and I just massaged that into the roots of my hair, and I just blow dried it out with this Boar hairbrush, round Boar hairbrush, and just loosely blow dried it, and that will just help to add a little bit more volume to the roots, and it also adds a little bit of texture to my hair, which will help with the hot rollers. As you probably noticed, my hair is a little bit shorter than usual. That's because I don't have any of my extensions in, and I just thought it'd be easier to show you this tutorial without hair extensions in. The second step is just to protect my hair from any damage, because they are heated rollers, so they can cause damage to your hair. I'm just going to be using a GHD thermal protector, which is what I usually use when I use my GHD on my hair. And I'm just going to give it a really light spray all over, and that'll be just enough to protect it from any heat damage, because you don't want that. You need to look after your hair. I'm now going to take a Tailcomb, and using the Tailcomb I'm going to divide my hair into 4 sections, and this is going to make it easier to style the hair in the rollers. So the first section I'm going to do is just on the top, which will basically, I'll show you where it runs from. I'm going to take it from about here to somewhere near about there, if you can see. Combing out the sections, I'm just going to be using my Toni N Guy Paddlebrush, and I'm just going to use sectioning clips, and I'm going to put it into sections. So that's the first section. The second section will be the sides. And I'm going to take each of these from around the back near my ear, and another sectioning clip. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so that's those 3 sections, and the last section is just obviously the back area, but I'm not going to bother clipping that up because that's where I'm going to start. So now I'm just going to show you my hot roller set. The set that I'm currently using is just by Vidal Sassoon, and it's really not expensive. I've spoken to heaps of hairdressers about this, and they've told me that it doesn't really matter about the price of your hot rollers. They pretty much all do the same thing. So the main thing is how you use the hot rollers. So I like a set that has a good amount of sizes and just has a lot of rollers. If you have really short hair, you probably can't do this tutorial. I mean really short hair. Pretty much any length of hair you can use hot rollers, and if you do have a lot of hair then you might need to buy 2 sets, and sometimes when I have my extensions in and I'm using it, I just use this extra set of rollers because I find the one set isn't enough. So I'm going to start with styling it now, and with every section I'm just going to use my hairspray, and I've shown you guys this before. It's my Elnett Hairspray, which is just my go-to hairspray. And with the first section I'm going to use the larger rollers first, because I like to use the larger rollers at the back, and then going forwards I want to use the small ones around the side of my head, and etc. Now, the old-fashioned classic way of doing this, which is what I'm doing today, is to basically roll the rollers under. Some people like to roll them the other way, and some people like to do them sideways, and that's kind of the modern way, which is a bit more of a wave, but this is the classic way. And I'm going to take one of my larger hot rollers, and starting with the bottom of the back section, I'm just going to lightly spray that a bit, and I'm just going to comb it, and then all I'm doing is just make sure that the ends are properly rolled around the roller, because otherwise they're going to look really bad when you take them out. You want to make sure that they're smooth around the roller. So I'm basically rolling it towards my head with the hair on top of the roller. You want to roll it basically as close as you can get it to the scalp, which is going to give you the most amount of volume, and it's going to give you the most amount of bounce. Now, to hold the rollers on, I'm using these clips. You do get these other clips that come with it, which are like this, and I personally find them really annoying and time consuming, so I like to go out and buy these ones. Okay, so first area is done. Now I'm just going to head on to the first side, using the large rollers and again rolling down. Some people like to do one side rolled up and one side rolled down, and you can also take the rollers and mainly apply them from this bit of your head. Each one of them is a slightly different era, and I'm a bit confused about which exact style is which era. Okay, so for these front sections I'm just going to use medium size rollers, spray the hair, and I'm just going to roll it again in the downwards fashion. And repeat the same for the other side. And for that side I just used those little pin clips, which I don't like very much, but because these were smaller rollers, I found that the clips were just too bulky to put on that side of the head. Okay, so I've finished the sides and the back. Now I'm just going to move on to the front. Separate the fringe first, because that's the last part that I like to do, and I like this bit to be pretty precise. Okay, I'm just going to take these back levels to the back. You can take them to the front or the back, but today I'm going to take them to the back because I'll get closer to the root and it will just give me that extra volume. So I'm just going to use the large one for this one, and then just a medium for the other one. Okay, so now I'm just down to the fringe, and what a lot of people tend to do with this is they roll it back like the rest of the hair, but if you really want a classic kind of wave, like a nice movement in your hair, you want to roll it forward, and basically this will just give it a really nice amount of body and wave, and this is kind of the classic way to do it. So I sprayed it, and you really want to get the fringe part precise because it's obviously going to be at the front of your head, so you want to get it right. Okay, so I've sprayed it, and I'm just going to take a medium roller. Use a medium or a large because the small one's just going to be too small, and just very carefully I'm going to be rolling that up as tightly as I can, just like that. And I'm just going to take one of my clips and clip it, and that's the fringe. Okay, so I've rolled up all my hair, and now I'm just going to basically leave it to set. I'm probably going to leave it for about 15 or 20 minutes, and you can leave it for as long as you want. You can leave it for a couple of hours if you want to, just depends if you have the time. Now I'm going to take one of these old-fashioned granny hair nets, and I'm basically going to put it over just so that they're not moving around everywhere. As you can see, this is a very stylish look. You can pick up these little hair nets from basically any hair salon. A lot of them sell them. And that's that. I'm just going to let my hair sit now. You want to leave them for as long as you can, because the only way that they're probably going to set is when they've completely cooled down, which will basically set that shape. If you take them out when they're warm, then it's not going to work. So if you're ever wondering why your curls haven't worked, you probably haven't left them in long enough. Okay. Alright, see you guys soon. Okay, so I'm back. It's been about half an hour and I'm ready to take the hot rollers out. And before you just go ripping out all the hot rollers, don't, because you'll ruin all the hard work that you've done. Basically, you want to take the rollers out very carefully. You want to make sure that you unroll them properly. So I'm just going to take the netting off. And I do recommend getting one of these nettings because the rollers can get a bit annoying wobbling around otherwise. I'm basically going to start at the nape of my neck and work my way upwards. I find it's the easier way to take them out. And as I go, I'm just going to spray a little bit of hairspray on over the roller before I take it out, and then we're going to gently unroll it. So, starting at the bottom here, take a little bit of hairspray. Okay, so I'm just up to the last roller, so I'm just going to take that out, gently spray that. Just take that out. Now, obviously this looks absolutely horrible because I haven't combed it yet. So you basically need to fiddle around with it a bit. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's got a pretty good body, and I'm just going to now take a shine spray and spray that through just to give it a nice gloss. Then you can just like pin up a few sections, maybe like have a little accessory. Might want to pin up a little bit over here. That's the finished hair. It doesn't always turn out this terrible. Usually it turns out a little bit better, but I was rushed. A lot of the time I do actually take my hair extensions and I curl them using my GHD and I put them in underneath. And the longer you leave them for, the higher the curls are going to get and the bigger the curls are going to get. I didn't leave them in for as long as I usually do, but hopefully this gives you an idea of how to use them. If you have any questions at all about hot rollers or anything, feel free to ask, and I will speak to you guys soon.